going to talk about the Grand Tour, a popular form of travel of the 17th and 18th centuries that took the British aristocrat to the continent. A young man would travel at the age of 21 down to the continent to learn about history, the arts, and culture. He would be surrounded by a big entourage of servants and Cicerone, a guide who was an expert in culture. At the same time, this was a coming-of-age journey for the young man. The first destination was the harbor city of Le Havre. From there, the journey would continue by horse carriage to Paris. That was already, in those days, a vibrant and popular tourism destination. However, not all tourists appreciated the French, and Horace Walpole, a famous British writer and politician, complained in a letter to a friend about local Frenchmen who were more fond of the tourists' money than his wit. And somehow this is still today the case in many popular tourist destinations. The journey would continue over the Alps to Lake Geneva. This was a very slow and hard leg of the journey. And again, we had tourists who analyzed the Swiss and found them a bit crude and too down to earth. One city that seemed to appeal to everybody was Florence, the cradle of the Renaissance. And Henry James, a famous American-British writer, has described the color of Florence as that of diluted wine. And then, among the male travelers, there were some female Grand Tour travelers as well. The famous one being Mary Shelley, who at one stormy night by Lake Geneva came up with the idea for the Gothic novel Frankenstein. And still today we can read Frankenstein. Next, people might travel to Venice. And again, travel is not only about appreciating culture, but it's also about surviving. And many complained about the smelly canals. Again, when people went to Rome, they might have been traveling with a guidebook. And instead of appreciating the ambience of the city, they would be stuck with a book trying to look for the famous sculptures. This was, of course, rather ridiculous. Percy Shelley was the husband of Mary Shelley. They traveled together. They had actually eloped together and left England. Shelley was a very sensitive, romantic poet, and he was deeply disturbed by seeing somebody getting killed in the street of Naples. And, well, when we look at travelers, even if they were interested in culture, they might have been even more interested in partying. So there would have been Englishmen who, instead of seeing Colosseum, would only hang out with fellow Englishmen. And somehow, bringing everything together, the Grand Tour is back. People want more individualized tours. They wish to stay longer and to learn something about themselves. So, Grand Tour is very much cultural tourism. Thank you.